Today on Dateline Abuja, we follow the FCT minister as he visits the area councils, speaking on security and infrastructure development. That's on our focus on the FCT. My guest is the Secretary, FCTA Command and Control Center, and it's going to be his first time on the program. We have quite a lot to talk about, and we will be updating you, of course, as we do every week, on the major stories from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with an update of the major stories from Nigeria's seat of power.
President Bola Tinubu has condemned the killing of two traditional rulers in Ekiti State, the Onimojo of Imojo Ekiti, Oba Olatunde Olushola, and the Eleson of Esun Ekiti, Oba David Ogushola, calling for the immediate rescue of pupils and teachers kidnapped around the Ekporo Ekiti area of the state. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, the president pledged that the perpetrators of the mindless and brutal bloodletting will not escape justice. The federal government will provide the necessary infrastructure needed to enhance production and related activities at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received some of the operators in the area, including officials of the Lekki Deep Sea ports.
The Vice President was very kindly giving us his assurance regarding the maintenance of the infrastructure. We're looking at roads, we're looking at railway, we're looking at all those things that will make cargo evacuation seamless and not a problem for the localities and the people around. So the Vice President has assured us of this government's commitment. You know, this administration is pro-business, and we've been assured that everything that we need to make the port successful will be given to us. And we're very grateful for that assurance.
The federal government has inaugurated a 37-member tripartite committee on national minimum wage with the mandate of fashioning a new minimum wage for workers in the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima inaugurated the committee at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja.
Since the removal of the petroleum subsidy, various committees have been established to examine and make recommendations to the government on measures to cushion the envisaged painful effects of the increase on workers and the Nigerian populace at large. I am pleased to share that action has since commenced on the implementation of the outcome of those agreements and initiatives. The President hereby directs that ministers and heads of service of the Federation should personally attend the meetings. In their unavoidable absence, their permanent secretaries should represent them. Similarly, our executive governors are expected to attend in person or be represented by their deputy governors where necessary.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has revealed that it uncovered how a religious body was laundering money for terrorists in the country. The chairman of the commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, made a disclosure during a one-day dialogue on youth, religion, and the fight against corruption in Abuja. He explained that the discovery was made when he served as the chief of staff to the chairman of the commission between 2016 and 2018.
We were able to trace about over 7 billion to a particular religious body. And so what did I do? I said, look, write a letter to the leader of that religious sect. We did. And the next thing we saw was a restraining order. The money traced to that religious organization to their leaders. We got a restraining order stopping us from inviting them, stopping us from recovering the money. Meanwhile, people have died along the line. When I was chief of staff, we investigated the issue of money laundering. Somewhere in this country, there's a particular religion, a sect that laundered money for terrorists.
The Senate has summoned service chiefs over the spate of insecurity in the country. This was a unanimous call by lawmakers after an emergency session on the first legislative day of the year.
The Senate notes with sadness the rising spate of killings, kidnappings, banditry, and other criminal activities in the nation. Senate equally notes the various kidnappings within the Federal Capital Territory where victims have been killed after collecting ransom. Senate is also aware of several cases of kidnappings all over the country.
Those who are in support of this motion are second, they say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Wike, says the outer southern carriageway, which is the road leading to Wasa area in Abuja, will be completed by December of 2024. He has also ordered the construction of 2 access roads in Kwali Area Council as part of efforts to tackle insecurity in the nation's capital. In terms of security, Mr. Wike has asked all area council chairmen and traditional rulers to set up vigilante groups in various communities in their localities, calling for more stringent laws to be put in place to penalize criminals. He's also threatening to declare any area council chairman who refuses to carry out regular security checks a security threat. Please watch this. Keeping his promise of ending the insecurity problem in Abuja, the FCT minister is making several media engagements and has embarked on a tour of Abuja's 6 area councils, especially those that have been the scene of kidnappings in recent times. At a media chat in his office with journalists in Abuja, he calls for more stringent penalties for criminals.
As FCT is concerned, for example, we have a lot of criminals where you talk about this, a solar light, for example, and they're being arrested. What's the punishment? What's the sanction? 30,000 naira. That is the offense. You pay 30,000 naira. Obviously, even if you're arrested and the court tells you to pay 30,000 naira, it is easy to pay 30,000 naira and go back to commit the same offense.
You want stiffer penalty?
What I'm trying to say, legislation should be put in place where it will no longer be easy.
At this meeting in Apple with area council chairmen and traditional rulers, he urges them to set up vigilante groups in their communities.
We have instructed all the area councils to set up vigilantes, and we will believe that those vigilantes will not be the ones perpetrating the crime. Therefore, they must be profiled to know who are these people. Do we know them? Are they from our communities? And again, some of you may have heard, we're demolishing shanties. You know that it is difficult for you to identify criminals in pure houses. Criminals would like to perpetrate and go to where you wouldn't know where they are. And so most of these shanties house the criminals. So we have taken it upon ourselves to let you know that from time to time, government will not to demolish shanties. Very soon, we are going to roll out our buses, which will be painted in Abuja colors. In that case, we will not allow taxis that are not painted in Abuja colors to operate here. So that this one chance will no longer be there.
In an interface with the Buhari Area Council chairman, royal fathers, security operatives, community leaders, and residents of the area, he declared that enough was enough, stating that informants working for the bandits will no longer be able to sleep among decent residents.
We are coming here today is to assure you that we are very, very serious. We are very, very serious. All those criminals, bandits, enough is enough. We will do everything within our powers to make sure that we will not allow this to happen again. These bandits were chased away from the northeast, so they are making their way down. We'll make it hot for them.
Lamenting what he describes as the ineffectiveness of the area council chairman during an interface at the Abuja Municipal Area Council, he threatens to declare any area council chairman who refuses to carry out regular security checks a security threat himself.
The point is that if you do your job, I do my job, traditional rulers do their own job, security agencies do their own job, who will have problems? Who will have problems? But if you don't do your own part, I don't do my own part, he does not do his own part, then we are bound to have problems. So, Council Chairman, any council chairman that does not carry out their monthly security council meeting is a threat to the security of that council. It's a threat. And therefore, I will call a meeting of all traditional rulers, I'll call a meeting of all area council chairmen, and I'll call a meeting of all security agencies. And direct that if there's no monthly meeting here in terms of security meeting, we should be let know, and we hold our council chairman responsible as a threat to the security of that area council. Talked about one chance. We are trying to see what we can do in the next few days. We are bringing in so many buses and taxis that will bear Abuja color and the rest of it. The drivers will be profiled. And so we'll appeal to all of you, when these buses and taxis come, don't go and take the risk and go and enter a vehicle you don't know.
The minister is also doubling down on infrastructure development in the FCT, stating during project inspections that the federal government has released 50% of the FCT's supplementary budget for the completion of ongoing projects, expressing readiness to collaborate with other security agencies to install CCTV cameras in the FCT. In the Kwali Area Council, Mr. Wike ordered the construction of 2 access roads in the area council as part of efforts to tackle insecurity in the area.
From what I hear you say, that one road you have said is very, very important, that's very motorable, that you want an outpost of the army to be there. I think that from what you are saying, it does appear that that road is very, very important. So take that one and any other one. You have told me that the one that we awarded here, that is FCT road, and it has been abandoned. That one on the abandoned will also take it over. As I speak to you, we have almost concluded the procurement of vehicles for security agencies.
At the inspection of the inner southern carriageway and the outer southern carriageway in Abuja, Mr. Wike says the outer southern carriageway, which is the road leading to Wasa area in Abuja, will be completed by December of 2024.
The importance of these 2 major contracts, obviously where we are now, this will lead you to Wasa. So it will be a lot to decongest the traffic you see very often along this road. But more importantly, the inner southern carriageway, you can see how huge it is. It's very ambitious project. We're not afraid of tackling it. We believe by the grace of God, with adequate funding. That project is a project that requires to be completed, and it will, of course, change the landscape of the FCT. And this will be completed this year, we believe, if we fund them very well, which we believe will do that. By December, this outer and southern carriageway will be completed. Majorly, the transformation we're happy with that is going on in the city. And with the support, like I've always said, Mr. President has given to us, we have no choice but to make sure we deliver and let the residents be happy. And, you know, for some few weeks we have been battling on the issue of security. And the happiness is that we have been able to reduce that insecurity now. A lot of people have been commending our efforts and that of the security agencies. So, but we will not go and sleep. We will continue to take the war down to wherever the criminals are.
The minister has also flagged off the construction of the Paikonkore Road in the Gwagwalada Area Council. For the FCT Minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, infrastructure development and hands-on area council chairman, as well as collaborations with security agencies to improve security vigilance in the nation's capital, will go a long way in returning the FCT to one of the most secure locations in Nigeria. My guest on the program is the Secretary, FCTA Command and Control Center, Mr. Peter Olumuji. While we take a look at the FCT Minister's recent activities aimed at boosting security and improving infrastructure in the nation's capital, we also take a look at the Command and Control Center itself, what their mandate is, and what progress they've made security-wise since inception. Dr. Olumuji, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you for having me.
Just so people can understand what the FCT, command center is, what is it, and why? How is it different from the police?
Yes, the FCT Command and Control Center is an offshoot of emergency response within the FCT, and it takes care of also the enforcement. The Command and Control Center have all the relevant security agencies, like the Nigerian Police. Mm-hmm. We have the DSS, that's Department of State Service. We have the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on board. We have the Immigration Service. We also have the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and the National Correctional Service, which we popularly know as prison, on board. Everyone has its own specialized function, but we come in to work as a team.
Wait, explain to me. So if there's a kidnapping
yes.
in Kuchiko and the person calls the command center, first of all, you have your own phone numbers, right? You don't
yes,
have
which is the FCT call center number.
Center numbers,
yes.
Those long numbers.
But very soon it will be very short for
why isn't it linked to the 112? Why isn't it just linked there? So if you call 112,
yes.
even though 112 belongs to another agency, why doesn't it just route the call to you?
Yeah, but again, there's nothing bad if the FCT has its own short code that helps the residents.
Well, what's bad. I'm just saying,
FCT.
Why not? Why, if we're trying to get things done quickly,
yes.
why not just, attach your long number to 112? I'm not a tech person, but I do know that they can forward, they can move calls to you instead of getting your own. Why don't you just use the one that
the
exists?
112 is the national number. Mm-hmm. We deal with the entire federation. But again, it's also good to domesticate yours. Once the residents of FCT have that that special number, which is going to be a short code very soon, a 3-digit number in the next few days. We're going to be having that. It helps the residents of the FCT to know that, okay, as I'm calling, I'm talking about incidents within the FCT and not outside the FCT.
What's the response time? Because we were told that there's no such thing. It depends on the terrain. There's a lot of indices. We need to think about this. If I give you a number,
yes.
if I give you a particular time, it will be wrong. We heard that from security agencies. Does the FCT Command Center think differently?
Yeah, when you talk about response time, it depends on when the call is made to the command center.
So I called you at 2 a.m.
If you call me at 2 a.m., I can tell you, depending on where the incident has occurred.
Kuchiko.
Okay, let's say Kuchiko in Kuchiko. Once Buhari Area Council, we have the closest security agencies team, especially the police and the military within that. They quickly call them up for them to respond before other agencies will come in. And that's why in FCT, you cannot really talk about 5 minutes, 2 minutes response timing. Because again, you look at the terrain. There are incidences that has occurred within the mountainous areas. And most of the time, the calls don't come timely. But as many that has come timely, responses have been swift. Just like the incident of abduction that occurred within Kugbo some few days ago.
So the one in Kugbo, how long did it take the command center to get?
It took the team just 30 minutes to respond to that, and they were able.
30 minutes.
Yes, they were able to quickly mobilize and go into that, and the victims were rescued, and that was because we got the call on time, and the terrain was bushy parts, rocky, mountainous areas that even vehicles cannot go in. Another incident that occurred at Karemu side, where some people went to the prayer mountain very late in the night, middle of the night, and they were abducted from there. Luckily, one of those who were there was able to call the police emergency number also, and there was quick response, and they were also rescued after like 40-50 minutes by the anti-kidnap team from the FCT Police Command. They were able to rescue them. So when we talk about response time, it depends on when the call gets to the center, that's number one. Then it also depends on the terrain. But the good news is that the current administration of the FCT under the leadership of the Minister of FCT is now rejigging the command and control center. Presently, approval has been gotten to get some high-tech gadgets that will aid whenever there's an incident, you'll be able to track them on time. Aside from that, there's also provision of vehicles, because no matter what we talk about, you still need mobility to move. And the FCT minister has also made some purchases on that. What it means is that they are now taking a critical look into the activity that goes on within these border communities that has these mountainous areas. You know, like you said earlier on, most of these people that come in to abduct people in the FCT are not residing in FCT. They come in, abduct, and go back. And the profiling going on right now is that we started from the Saguari at Buhari Area Council. We went up the mountains, and you will see some certain things that are not meant to be. And also,
such as
some I don't want to go into details for some security reasons, you know. But again, we also notice that people have started erecting structures on these mountain tops. Mountain tops have its own land use usage under the Land Use Act.
I see some people, you're talking about residents.
Yes, residents.
They're building estates on the mountain tops.
You know, and
they'll call it mountain top estates.
Mountain top estate, just any type of house there. And what we also have detected is that they got this land from some of the local chiefs, which is not supposed to be at all. And we emphasize that we should leave the monetary gain and look at the safety and security of everyone. And that's why the Development Control, in conjunction with the security agencies, have started that profiling. Where there's a need to remove some of those structures there, we just have to do it.
The issue with demolishing,
yes.
and I'm not trying to knock it, but what happens is, I've been in this town for a very long time.
Okay.
You demolish a place and it's left fallow. It's not reused.
Some places you go, you remove shanties and the rest. And the plot owners will refuse to come and take over and develop their plots.
Oh,
and
see.
that's why.
Is that what's going on?
Yes, and that's why
those
the minister.
Those plots of land belong to somebody.
To someone. And now that's why the Honorable Minister says, if you refuse to take over your plot of land after that removal, then it's going to be revoked. Then it shows that you don't need it. So it will be revoked and given to somebody that can take immediate use of that place. Because when we remove, you refuse to take over, naturally these nuisances will come back there. Most of the achievements that have been recorded in these few weeks is because the residents of FCT now have more confidence in calling those emergency numbers, and the responses to it have been swift.
So you're seeing more people calling?
More people are calling. The number is increasing day by day.
I want to thank you so much for being with us on Dateline Abuja. I know there's a lot of work ahead of you.
That's just
but good luck, and I hope I get to see you soon.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Remember, you have to call these numbers showing right now on your screen to get in touch with the FCT Command Center. And remember to give us updates on the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles that will be showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Magwa. See you next time.